Hi dear students. So in the previous class we discussed about chapter 11 algebra and up to exercise 11.1. So today we are going to study about use of variables in common rules. Okay. So we can use variables by expressing some common rules. So let us now see how certain rules in mathematics that have been already learned are expressed using variables. So we studied about how to find the perimeter of a square, a rectangle, equilateral triangle, like that. Then we already learned about commutative property and commutative of addition, multiplication and distributive property. So let's learn about how to express the following properties in the terms of variables. So the first one is perimeter of a square. So perimeter of a square, and the heading is rules from geometry. So use of variables in common rules, and the first one is rules from geometry. Rules from geometry. Okay, so the first one is how to find the perimeter of a square. So we can use a variable to express the equation to find the perimeter of a square. So we know that if a square has four sides and the four sides of a square has of equal length. So the four sides are of equal length. Then the figure is said to be a square. So to find the perimeter of a square, we know that the perimeter is the sum of all sides of all the length of the sides. Okay. So perimeter of a square is equal to perimeter of a square is equal to, how to find the perimeter of a square? Length of all the sides or length of four sides of the square. So sum of the length of the sides of square. To find the perimeter of a square, we take the sum of all sides of the square. So the equation is sum of the length of all sides of the square. Sum of the length of the sides of the square. Sum of the length of all sides. All sides means four sides. Then square has four sides. So take the sum of length of all sides. Then we get the perimeter of the square. So to find the square is a regular shape. Regular shape means all the sides are of equal length. A figure which are with all sides are of equal length, then it is said to be a regular figure. So it's a regular shape, which means all sides of the figure is equal length. So the equation is to find the perimeter of a regular shape. Then its equation is number of sides into length of each side. Number of sides is equal to, so it's a regular shape. So the equation is number of sides into length of one side or length of each side. Okay, length of one side. Length of one side. And here number of sides, there are four sides in a square. So the number of sides is equal to 4. That's equal to 4 and into length of one side. Here we express length of one side by using the letter L. So L is the variable to express the equation. We use to express the equation to find the perimeter of a square. So length of one side is equal to L. So we get 4 into L. That we can already also written as 4L. So to find the perimeter of a square, the equation is 4L. Okay, so here L is the variable. L is the variable to express the perimeter of a, used to express the perimeter of a square. So like this, we use the variables to express different equations in geometry. And the second one is how to find the perimeter of a rectangle. And we also use a variable to express the equation equation to find the perimeter of a rectangle. Perimeter of a rectangle. Perimeter of a rectangle. So we know that if a square has four sides and the four sides are of equal length, and if a rectangle is a four-sided figure, but the two sides are of equal length. Two sides are of equal length. So the equation is how to find the perimeter of a rectangle. If you consider a figure a rectangle ABCD, then we can write. You consider a rectangle ABCD. Then the perimeter of the rectangle is equal to sum of the length of the all sides of the rectangle. That is, perimeter of the rectangle is equal to the sides are AB, BC, CD and AD. So here we add the all sides or take sum of all sides, length of the all sides, then we get the perimeter of the rectangle. So the first side is AB. So AB plus, then the next side is BC. BC plus CD plus AD or DA. Okay. So when we add these four sides, then we get the perimeter of the rectangle. Then this means length of AB plus length of BC plus length of CD plus length of AD, which means we length of AB plus length of BC plus length of CD plus length of AD. That is 2 into length of CD plus 2 into length of BC. 2 into, here we know that the sides AB and CD are of equal length. AB and CD are of equal length. So 2 into CD plus then the sides BC and AD are of equal length. So 2 into length of BC, length of one side, okay, length of BC. Okay, here we can take 2 as the common, then 2 into CD plus BC. Then we get the answer to find the perimeter of a rectangle. Okay. So here first we add all sides, length of all sides of the rectangle, then we get the perimeter of the rectangle. So the sides are AB, so length of AB plus length of BC plus length of CD plus length of AD. Then here we know that the opposite sides of a rectangle are of equal length. That means AB is equal to CD and AD is equal to BC. So here we just multiply, two sides are equal length, AB and CD are of equal length. So 2 into length of one side, that is AB or CD. So we write CD, 2 into CD, then plus 2 into, then these two sides are of equal length. So 2 into BC, length of any one side from BC and AD. So here we take 2 as common, then 2 into then CD plus BC, then we get the answer perimeter of a rectangle. 2 into BC plus, 2 into CD plus BC. Okay, so here we can express the perimeter of a rectangle by using variables. So here we use variables as L and B. Can use variables as L and B. Okay, so L and B. L is the length and here it is length and it is breadth. So if CD is equal to L and BC is equal to B, then we can write the equation as 2 into L plus B. That is 2 into length plus breadth. So CD is the length of the rectangle and BC is the breadth of the rectangle. So we can write perimeter of a rectangle by using the variables as 2 into L plus D. Here L and D are variables used to express the perimeter of a rectangle. Then the next one is rules from arithmetic. So arithmetic is the study of numbers, and we also study about some common rules from arithmetic, that is commutative property, then distributive property, and etc. So we use variables to express such rules. So let's learn about that. Okay. So the first one is rules from arithmetic. So the first rule is commutativity of addition of two numbers. First property is commutativity. Commutativity of addition of two numbers. Commutativity of addition of two numbers. Addition of two numbers. So what do you mean by commutativity of addition of two numbers? If we add any two numbers in two ways, then we get the same answer. For example, we take the number 4 and 3, then we can add 4 and 3 in two ways. That is 4 plus 3, then we get 4 plus 3 is equal to 7. Then we add 3 plus 4, then we also get 7. So we can add in any way two numbers, then we get the same answer, and it is called the commutativity of addition of numbers. Commutativity of addition of two numbers. So here we can use variables to express this property, that is which means if we add 4 plus 3, we get the same answer, so that is equal to 3 plus 4. Here we add 4 plus 3, then we get 7, and here we add 3 plus 4, then also we get 7. That means 4 plus 3 is equal to 3 plus 4. So here we can use variables to express these rules. That is, if we consider the two numbers are A and B, then we can write A plus B is equal to B plus A. Okay, if we add A plus B, then we get the same answer when we add B plus A. So this is called the commutativity of addition of two numbers. A plus B is equal to B plus A. Here A and B are variables which we use to express the commutative property of addition. Okay, so like this we can use commutativity of multiplication of two numbers. Commutativity of multiplication of two numbers. In our previous chapter. Then here commutativity of multiplication means, for example, if we multiply any two numbers in any way, then we get the same answer. If we take the same numbers, that is 4 and 3, then we multiply 4 and 3 in two ways. First we write 4, then multiply with 3, then we get 12. 4 3s are 12. Then the next way is, first we write the number 3, then it's multiply with 4, then we also get 3 4s are 12. So in any way we get the same answer when we multiply any two numbers, the same numbers. Okay, which means 4 into 3 is equal to 3 into 4. When we multiply in any way 4 and 3, then we get the answer 12, which means 4 into 3 is equal to 3 into 4. So we can write 4 into 3 is equal to 3 into 4. So we can write the commutativity of multiplication by using variables, which means if we consider the variables can write the numbers are A and B. Then it's equal to A into B is equal to B into A. So this is called the commutativity of multiplication. So therefore this property of numbers is called the commutativity of multiplication. So commutativity of addition is A plus B is equal to B plus A. Here we use the variables A and B to express the commutative property of addition. Then we use the same variables, that is A and B, to express the commutativity of multiplication. Then we get A into B is equal to B into A. So this is the property that we use to express the commutativity of multiplication. Then the next one is distributive property. Okay, distributivity property. So what do you mean by distributive property? So distributivity of numbers means if we want to calculate 7 into 38. Okay, and here we know the table of 38, so we can do the answer in the following ways. That is 7 into, we can write 38 as the sum of 30 plus 8. So we can write 38 as the sum of 30 plus 8. So we can write 38 as 30 plus 8. 7 into 30 plus 8. And here firstly 7 into 30 plus 8. And here we do the answer by first we multiply 7 into 3. Then we multiply 7 into 8. 7 into 30, that's equal to, first we multiply 7 by 30, that is 7 into 30, and here the property is addition. So addition, then multiply 7 into next number, that is 6. So 7 into 8. Then we get 7 into 30 is equal to, yes, 7 3s are 21, and here is 1 0, so put the 0, and so we get 210. Then 7 8s are 8 7s are 56. 56. Then we get the answer 210 plus 56 is equal to 266. 266. So in this way we can calculate the multiplication of numbers like this. Okay. So here we use the variables to express the numbers or the variables to express the properties, that is 7 into 30 plus 8. And here we can also write, here we write 7 into 30 plus 8. So here we take the three numbers or three variables as A, B and C. Here if we want to imagine the numbers are A, B and C, the three numbers are A, B and C, then we can write is equal to A into B plus C. A into B plus C. Then we can write A into B, that is AB, then plus A into C. This is called the distributivity of numbers. A into B plus C is equal to AB plus AC. Okay. So A into B plus C is equal to A into B, that is AB plus A into C. So this is called the distributivity of number. So we can express the properties by using variables like this. Okay. addition, that is a plus b is equal to b plus a. When we add two numbers in any way, then we get the same answer. Then commutativity on a multiplication, that is a into b is equal to b into a. When we multiply any two numbers in any way, then we get the same answer. Then the distributive property, that is if we take any three numbers, that is a into b plus c, then we get ab, that's equal to ab plus b, ab plus ac, and this is called distributivity of numbers. So in this way we can express the rules from arithmetic and rules from geometry in the form of variables. Okay. So the next one is expressions with variables. So what do you mean by expressions with variables? So we use some expressions which contains the variables and it is used to find the answers. Okay. So here, if we want to give the expressions like 4x plus 5, and here x is the variable. X is the variable, and we know that the value of variable is not fixed and it is changing. So here, if we take the value of x is equal to 1, then the equation becomes 4 into, put the value of x, that is x is equal to 1. So here 1, 4 into 1 plus 1, then we get 4 into 1, 4 plus 5, that's equal to 9. Okay, then if we take the value of x is equal to 2, then the equation becomes 4x plus 5, that's equal to 4 into x. Value of x is 2, so 4 into 2 plus 5, that's equal to 4 2s are 8, 8 plus 5, that's equal to 13. If you put the value of x is equal to 5, then the equation becomes 4x plus 5 is equal to 4 into x is 5, so 4 into 5 plus 5, that's equal to 5 4s are 20 plus 5, then we get 25. So in this way we can find if an equation is evaluate or not. Okay, and in your textbook some expressions are given and how to the expression formed. And the first one is y plus 5. How the expression y plus 5 formed? Yes, 5 added to y. Y is the variable. Then we add 5 to the variable y. Then the expression is formed again. So 5 added to y. 5 added to y. So how the expression y plus 5 is formed? When we add 5 to y, then the expression 5 plus 5, y plus 5 is formed. Then the next expression is t minus 7. Here t is a variable, and here how the expression t minus 7 is formed? Yes, here 7 is subtracted. 7 is subtracted from t. 7 is subtracted from t. So we can write 7 is subtracted from t, then the equation t minus 5 is formed. Then the next one is 10a. 10a means is a variable. Here 10a means 10 into Then the next expression is x by 3. So how the expression formed x by 3? And here we divide x divided by 3. X is a variable and the variable x is divided by 3. Then the expression x by 3 is formed. So we can write x divided by 3. So the expression is formed by x divided by 3. X divided by 3. X divided by 3. Then the next one is minus 5 cube. Minus 5 cube. Here q is a variable and how the expression minus 5 cube is formed. And here we multiply the variable q by minus 5. So q multiplied by minus 5. Q multiplied by minus 5. So q multiplied by minus 5. Then the next one is 3x plus 2. And here two operations are used. First we multiply the variable x with x by 3. Then we add 2 to the result. Then we get the answer. So the expression is formed by first multiply the variable x into 3. Then we add 2 to the result or 2 to the product. Here 3x means 3 into x then plus 2. Which means first we multiply x by 3. Then we get the product. Then we add 2 to the product, then we get the answer. So the expression is formed by multiply first x multiplied by 3. First x is multiplied by 3. Then 2 added to the product. Then 2 is added to the product. So the answer is first x is multiplied by 3. First x is multiplied by 3. First x multiplied by 3, which means the equation is 3 into x plus 2. So first we multiply x by 3, then we add 2 to the product. Then we add 2 to the product. So then 2 is added to the product. Then 2 is added to the product. Okay, then the expression is formed. Then the last one is 2y minus 5. The equation is in the form of 2 into y minus 5, which means first we multiply y by 2, then we subtract 5 from the product, then the expression is formed. So 2y minus 5 means 2 into y minus 5. So here first y multiplied by 2, then 5 subtracted from the product. So first we multiply y into 2, we get 2y, that is the product. Then we subtract the answer, subtract 5 from the product, then we get the answer. So the expression is formed by first y is multiplied by 2, then 5 is subtracted from the product. Then the expression is formed. So first y multiplied by 2. First y multiplied by 2. Multiplied by 2, then 5 subtracted from the product. 5 subtracted from the . how the given expressions are formed. Okay. Then the next one is so write an expression through given instruction and look at the following example and here in the textbook page number 232. Some expressions gives expression for the following. So here first one is we want to write the expression for the following statement. 12 subtracted from Z. 12 subtracted from Z. So here the variable is Z and here the statement is 12 subtracted from Z. 12 is subtracted from the variable Z. So the expression is Z minus 12, which means 12 is subtracted from Z. So you write Z minus 12, which means 12 subtracted from Z. And the second one is 25 added to R. 25 added to R, which means 25 is added to the variable R, which means R plus 25. 25 is added to the variable R. So the expression is R plus 25. Then the next one is P multiplied by 16. P is the variable. P multiplied by 16, which means the variable P is multiplied by 16. So 16 into multiplication, that is product 16 into P, that we can also known as 16P. Then Y divided by 8. Y is the variable and which is divided by 8. Y is divided by 8, which means Y is divided by 8. Then the next one is M multiplied by minus 9. It is the variable M multiplied by minus 9. This means the variable M is multiplied by the number minus 9. So the equation is minus 9 into M. That's equal to minus 9 M. Minus 9 M. Then the next one. Y multiplied by 10. Y multiplied by 10 and then 7 added to the product and then 7 added to the product. So here first Y multiplied by 10, which means 10 into Y. Y is multiplied by 10. Then 7 added to the product. So here then 7 added. So plus 7 added to the product. That is 10 into Y. 10Y plus 7. So the expression is 10Y plus 7. Then the next one. N multiplied by 2. N multiplied by 2 and 1 subtracted from the product. 1 subtracted given the product. And here first n is multiplied by 2, which means n is multiplied by 2 into n. Then 1 subtracted from the product, that is minus 1. What is subtracted from 2n? So 2 into n, we get 2n minus 1. So the expression is 2n minus 1. 2n minus 1. First n is multiplied by 2, that is 2 into n. Then 1 is subtracted from this product. So 2 into n minus 1, that is 2n minus 1. Okay, so in this way we can write the expression for the following statement. So next is our exercise portion, exercise 11.3. So today we discussed about expressions with variables and how to express equations with variables, and here the exercise portion 11.2. Okay, exercise 11.2. And the first question, the side of an equilateral triangle is shown by L. Express the perimeter of the equilateral triangle using L. So here equilateral triangle means all the sides of the triangle are of equal length. So each side, length of each side is L. That is L. Then we want to write the equations to form the perimeter of the rectangle. So perimeter of the equilateral triangle, that's equal to number of sides, that is 3, into length of each side, that is L. So perimeter P is equal to 3L. P is equal to 3L. Then the next question, the side of a regular hexagon is denoted by L. Express the perimeter of the hexagon using L. So hexagon means a figure with 6 sides, and here all the sides of the equal length. Regular hexagon means all sides of the hexagon are of equal length. So all sides are of the length L. Then we want to write the expressions to show the perimeter of the regular hexagon by using variables. So the perimeter of the regular hexagon, that is P, is equal to number of sides, that is 6. Number of sides into length of each side. Length of each side, that is equal to L. So P is equal to 6 into L, 6L. So it is the equation that we used to express the perimeter of a regular hexagon by using variable. Then the next one is question number 3. A cube is a three-dimensional figure as shown in figure, and it has 6 faces and all of them are identical square. The length of an edge of the cube is given by L, and find the formula for the total length of the edge of a cube. And here a cube is given, and here we want to find the length of all edges of a cube. So how many edges are there in a cube? There are 12 edges in a cube. So here we want to find the total length of the edges of a cube. So here the first one here, L is the length of each edge of the cube. So the first step is length of one edge is equal to L. Length of one edge is equal to L, and number of edges, that is equal to, there are 12 edges in a cube, so number of edges is equal to 12. Then total length of the edges, total length is equal to number of edges, that is 12 into length of one edge, that is L. That's it. equal to 12n. So 12n is the total length of the edges of a cube. That is number of edges into length of one edge. And here two more problems are given in your exercise 11.2 that we will discuss in our next class. Okay. So you just do the questions given in your textbook and study the problems very well. And so today let's wind up our class and we will meet with another class. Okay students, study well. Have a nice day. Thank you.